many things. And let me just address this for the sake of our viewers as well, that there is no, from the beginning, there's a lot of people who can make predictions about your future, about your ministry. But the only difference is to whom you're going to submit yourself as the authority in your life.
Okay.
Okay? Because people can share their voices. People can predict what you can be and where you will be, but you don't recognize those voices because they're not your authority. They are not the voice of authority in your life. I started entering the ministry by way of submitting to authority, and I valued that so much. Like before I go to Bible school, I ask my pastor, what do you think? And the voice of my pastor is the one who moved me, if you want to use the word movement, moved me to decide to go to Bible school. And then when the door was open for me to go to Hong Kong, again, I asked the authority of my pastor what he thinks. And again, the voice of my authority, which is my pastor, moved me to decide to go to Hong Kong. I want to die. I want to live and die in Antipolo, Rizal, where I started to the church. You know, because you gave everything there, sweat and tears, and prayer. But again, I value authority over my life, and there's a lot of people now after 35 years that can be a voice to me. So I value the importance of submitting to authority in our lives. I recall a book by John Bevere. Mm-hmm. He said, what we are after is a revelation of authority, which is a revelation of God Himself. For He and His authority are inseparable. Mm-hmm. You cannot separate what you have right now. Now, people can look at me and say, oh, he's the first this and the first that, and he's got so much authority, But the thing is, you cannot separate your authority over the God-ordained authority over your life, because that's all from God. So, my movement in the ministry is simply based on submission to authority. Regardless of who you are, regardless of how high you've reached in the ministry or so-called position, there must be certain authority over you.
Mm-hmm. But then again, to counterbalance that, just like you said, you don't listen to every voice that tries to influence you.
Well, you have to understand, voices are voices. They're all out there. Mm-hmm. You have to identify, does this voice have certain authority over me?
Right.
Because if they don't have authority, they are just making prediction. They are not unveiling the will of God, or their voices are not revelatory. My advice to our younger ministers out there who were suppressed, if you will, by the authority over you. Number one, don't get bitter.
Amen.
Okay. There's always safety in submission regardless. Okay.
Yes, beautiful.
But you have to find ways on how to know the will of God. Again, it's by way of prayer and your sensitivity. I'm not trying to undermine the authority of your pastor, but you need other voices with authority over you. If you think, if you feel that your pastor is kind of suppressing you or denying you the opportunity to fulfill your ministry. And I can say that right now because I'm trying to mentor other young ministers, and I told them, you know, you value the voice of your pastor. Number one, that's on top of the list, but you have to have other voices that will balance your decision making down the road. And I think it's not like, for example, you have district superintendents, you have sectional superintendents. These are God ordained authority over certain areas, and you can submit to that as well and try to weigh, find balance in that area.